had lightning for several hours, and of course the rains were drenching rains here in Fort Myers, and so the field took on a lot of water. The grounds crew here at Florida Gulf Coast University have done a tremendous job. Mike Miller and his entire crew in getting this field to where it is playable once again. It wasn't only the lightning that was an issue, but we had to get the field dry enough to be up to standards to continue, and that's what we'll do with 7.5 minutes remaining in the second overtime. And if we're tied through the second overtime, then we go to penalty kicks. So as we get set, what a time as the pressure is on right from the gun here.
We're going to start here with the Stetson throw-in. Now, just to remind you, this is sudden victory. So if anybody scores, even in the next 30 seconds, this game is over. And that rain delay, well, was a lot longer than the rest of this game.
Absolutely. So the throw in. It's Monsanto who sends one across. Headed away. And tracked down by number 7, Daniel O'Brien. Very crafty and dangerous player. And there's one towards the box, and it just goes wide.
And already you can see the cobwebs being shaken out from both of these teams. Not only from FGCU trying to defend that, but from Stetson, who you would believe would normally capitalize on something bouncing that close to the goal.
FGCU's keeper, Gustavo Vasconcelos, has been tremendous. 5 saves as he gets ready to send this one away. His counterpart, Braden Luna, 6 saves on the afternoon and now into the evening.
And there we already see the weather conditions coming into play. Vasconcelos going for the goal kick. Still gets a lot of distance on it, but ends up sliding into the turf.
Now FGCU, who had it for a moment, Lewis Scattergood trying to take it back, but it's Shaq Adams. And the Eagles now, potentially a run. We tick towards 6 minutes left. Medilla now tracked down by Avante Mullings. Lamanake. The Hatters look to clear.
Got a foul call.
As Denise goes to the turf. Of course, so much riding on what these players are doing, and the coaches trying to get their guys settled down and now revved back up for this crucial few minutes of play.
Well, it'll be very interesting to see the strategies coming out of this long delay. Do you play conservatively? Maybe you sneak a goal in? Or do you play for those penalty kicks? Or do you go for it and say, hey, they're just as delayed as we were. They're just as off. Let's take it to them now and catch them off guard.
It'll belong to the Hatters up towards midfield. A berth in next Saturday's ASUN men's final on the line. We can tell you that top-seeded Lipscomb has advanced. They won at home this afternoon, defeating Jacksonville 2-1. So Lipscomb will host the championship game next Saturday against one of these two.
And that Lipscomb game was tied until very late. Lipscomb making a goal off of a Jacksonville goalkeeping error. So not a convincing win on that end either. Definitely the 4 best teams left in this tournament.
Moving it forward, the Hatters. Denise has to track it down. Still in play, Chalbeau on the far side. Erwin Colas, the star player, not in the game right now for the Hatters, and that one's a tough one to play for Vasconcelos. Erwin Colas did not start this game. He's their leading scorer, the Hatters. The hurt ankle came off the bench in the second half. Was gutty in his performance, but after the delay, he did not come back out.
Well, that's one of the things, when you get hurt and you take some time away, and get that adrenaline out of your body, that pain and that swelling and everything comes right back. So it's no surprise to see that he starts the second half on the bench.
3.5 minutes left in double overtime.
FGCU sitting with 6 back right now.
Rafael Northoff moving in. Pokes it through, and just wide is the attempt from Daniel O'Brien. So close.
And you want to put any and everything on goal at the moment because both of these teams' goalkeepers are definitely not fully warmed up.
And how slippery the conditions are in front of the goal, and especially if something bounces in front of them, as we saw a few moments ago. Vasconcelos, the FGCU keeper, had a tough time taking one off the short hop.
Not only do you have to worry about the ball taking a different trajectory, but you have to trust that your feet are not going to slip out. You go to save that ball, and you don't have anything to push off of? Well, that's a goal right there.
Shaq Adams pushes it ahead, and here's Adams again. The Shaq attack, as they call him. Moving it forward. Taken back by Stetson.
Got Northoff making a run all the way from his 18-yard box. Now he's up almost to the FGCU box.
Nice ball sent ahead. Bertie can't control it.
Very well cut out there by Brock Exline.
The Hatters move it down the far side. It's O'Brien.
Final 90 seconds coming up right here.
Monsanto across this time to the waiting Denise. Denise sends it forward. That one towards the box. It's tricky in there with how slippery the ball and the turf is. And FGCU's coaches encouraging Vasconcelos to let's get this forward as quick as possible.
You can see Vasconcelos wants to keep possession of that ball and wait for pressure. But the coaches, like you said, are urging them forward, saying, hey, let's finish this now. Let's not take it to penalties.
Here's Bertie. Bertie changing direction.
Bertie, who had a ton of good chances early in that overtime period. Final 30 seconds on the clock. Both teams look as if they're just going to let this run out.
And if that's the case, we'll be headed to penalty kicks. Stetson throws in with 15 seconds left. FGCU just trying to guard against anything crazy happening in their end.
And that should, oh, here we go.
And that'll do it.
And just as quickly as we started this overtime period, we are now ending and moving on to penalties. A rather conservative decision, but maybe the smart one in the long run.
So we've played 2 halves. We've played 2 overtimes. We are still tied at 1 apiece. And now we're headed to penalty kicks. As you take a look at the penalty kick rules, it's, of course, best of 5 in each team, getting 5 cracks at it. And, of course, if we're still tied after 5, sudden victory.
Yeah, so each team after 5 will get 1 shot apiece. And if one team is up at the end of that specific round, we will have a victor. If not, we move on. And one rule that a lot of people don't know is during penalty kicks, once this game is over, your players are not allowed off the field. The 11 players that are on the field have to be the ones to take the kicks. Those are the only ones you can choose from. So if you haven't made your substitution by then, this is the team you're confident in. Goalkeepers included.
Talk about the nerves for these guys who are going to be taking the shots and also the guys who are going to be facing the shots, the keepers.
Well, from my experience, being the shooter, all of the pressure is on you because you're expected to have the best opportunity to make this. If you're a goalkeeper and you make a good decision here and make one save, you can be the hero.
Yeah, ordinarily, more shots go in than are saved. Saves are at a premium. FGCU's team huddles. Stetson's team in a huddle.
Both of these teams have left everything they have on this field. There is no way to go home after this game and feel like you didn't give 110%.
Well, it's just been a tremendous match. Drama, the quality of play, really from both teams. Stetson looking anything but a 6th seed, and of course FGCU tied for the conference regular season championship. They come into the postseason here as the 2 seed. They've looked tremendous as well. And the Hatters, of course, 0-1 in penalty kick situations this season. And they've let 1 out of 2 in. The Eagles have made 1 of 3. But for their opponents, they've made 4 of 5.
And that's not as much a testament to Vasconcelos as it is to the opponent stepping up and doing their homework and putting the ball in.
And FGCU in their first penalty kick shootout situation in ASUN tournament history. Not the case for the Hatters. They're 1-2.
You can believe that both goalkeepers and coaching staffs have done their homework here. You know who the main shooters are for each team, and you know their tendencies. It's up to you to determine if they're going to stick with those tendencies or if they're going to try to switch it up and put you on the wrong foot.
And we'll see who the 5 guys are to take the shots for each team. Of course, the guys who've scored the goals today, Ryan Medilla from FGCU. Lewis Scattergood scored the tying goal in the second half. He now has 3 goals in the 2 games here in Fort Myers this weekend. He had the pair in the second half of the quarterfinal game Friday night against UNF, and the 1 goal here this afternoon. And a guy who is ailing. He is his midsection is not strong. His ribs are hurt, and he's still been gutting it out.
I don't know how much you want to read into it, but in the goal that we are participating in these penalty kicks, there have been 0 goals allowed today. Both goals have come from the south end of the field. Are those fans behind the goal going to play a part? You have to keep your nerves here, and we'll see if O'Brien, the first shooter for Stetson, can put them on the board.
So Daniel O'Brien, with 3 goals on the season, will be the first to face off against Vasconcelos, the keeper for FGCU. O'Brien finds the corner, and Stetson strikes first.
That was a very well-struck penalty by O'Brien. Vasconcelos picked that side. He was in the air, almost had it. But nothing you can do against a perfect shot.
So Kareem Riley,
sophomore out of Trinidad and Tobago,
will take the first shot for the Eagles.
And now there's a lot of pressure here. You have to tie this up right now, or you put your team in a nice little hole.
As Braden Luna awaits. And it is good. Going top shelf, right side. We're tied at 1 apiece.
Another very well-struck penalty. That is how you answer the call and put that pressure back onto the Stetson Hatters. One interesting fact to note, once you put that ball down, it is down. You are not allowed to pick it back up.
So here is Lewis Scattergood. If there was a most valuable player of this site this weekend, here's your guy. 3 goals already.
Make that
And he
4.
finds that one right down Main Street.
Definitely stepped up and struck it well. If Vasconcelos had picked that side, though, we'd be looking at FGCU with the advantage.
So Kamar Marriott will try to keep the Eagles on serve, if you will, against Luna.
Here you have a red shirt senior. So you have experience. You have the ability to deal with this pressure. But now when it matters, what can we do?
Marriott, yes. No doubt about that one.
Well
So
struck.
each team 2 for 2.
And Braden Luna again, picking the side the ball is going to. All you need is that extra inch. Stretch your arm out a little farther. But now we have Nathan Monsanto stepping up, another senior. Can he keep Stetson on track? FGCU has answered every call so far.
Monsanto. And a save! Vasconcelos steps up for the Eagles. A huge save for the keeper of the number 2 seeded FGCU Eagles, and now the pressure definitely on the Hatters.
And it was a great save by Vasconcelos, but it was a poorly struck penalty. When that ball and the goalkeeper doesn't have to move very far, you're leaving yourself open to something bad happening. And Vasconcelos comes up huge in the moment.
And now FGCU can take command, but it's off the post.
And that was Chris Clement. Looked like he hit it pretty strongly. Just hooked it a little wide, kept it outside.
So, wow, what a reprieve for the Hatters as Chris Clement, the sophomore from Mallorca, Spain, off the left post, and Stetson is back in this thing.
Northoff stepping up to take this penalty, and he's scored once already in this tournament. He's found the net. Can he find it again?
The left footer. Northoff, yes. Stetson with their 3rd goal.
Powerful shot there by Northoff. Almost unstoppable, even if you get something on that.
Taking FGCU's 4th penalty kick, number 16, Ryan Matilla.
Here's Ryan Medila again. Another player who scored today. Found the back of the net once. Is that confidence going to lead him here?
FGCU needs him right now. And he delivers. Ryan Medilla, the huge goal in the first half of this game. And now comes up big here.
Sebastian Chalbeau stepping up. The freshman from Caracas, Venezuela. Big, big moment here for a freshman. But this is why you bring these players into your program. This is why they play big parts of your program.
3 makes and a miss for FGCU. 3 makes and a miss for the Hatters. It's good. Sebastian Chalbeau, the freshman from Caracas. And now, a moment of truth for Braden Luna, the keeper for the Hatters. A save here will send Stetson to the championship round. And for FGCU, they need a goal right now from Zapata.
And if you're going to rely on somebody, it's going to be a senior and it's going to be a captain. Zapata checks both of those boxes.
He's got it.
Luna gets a hand on the shot. Just knocks it into the roof of the net. Doesn't matter how it goes in, it goes in.
And how appropriate. Extra time in penalty kicks after 2 overtime periods. Who wants it more?
So now each team will take one shot apiece, and whoever is leading at the end of that round will be moving on to the final to play Lipscomb.
So Pinheiro, the freshman from Sao Paulo, Brazil for the Hatters, will face the ASUN Keeper of the Year, Vasconcelos. What a matchup. And it's in the net.
Little mind games by both players. Vasconcelos before the shot pointing the direction he thinks Pierno's going to go. And then, to his credit, he steps up with a few stutter steps, puts the ball in the corner. Maybe Vasconcelos loses the nerve a little bit.
So, Joao Botti. And Botti was the one who assisted on the goal for FGCU back in the first half.
Played lights out today. Hope he can continue the form here. But Braden Luna has something else to say.
And a save by Luna. Stetson has won it. The Hatters head to the ASUN Championship next Saturday in Nashville against Lipscomb. An incredible matchup this afternoon that stretched into this evening here at the FGCU Soccer Complex. And Stetson prevails in penalty kicks, 5-4, as we take a look, Joe, at the winning kick.
Braden Luna has been phenomenal all game, and he shows why he deserved to be in the running for goalkeeper of the year. What an amazing save here at the end. Way to put the team on your back. Congratulations to the Stetson Hatters.
What an unbelievable weekend it has been here in Fort Myers. As FGCU is dejected, Stetson so excited to be marching on. Their season continues. The last team to make it into this postseason tournament, the 6th seed, is now one victory away from the NCAA tournament.
And it's hats off to the Hatters. They have played their last 2 games here in this tournament phenomenally. They took control against an FGCU team today early that, by all rights, on paper, was the better team. But Stetson says, we don't care about paper. We're playing with these 11 guys on this pitch, and we're going to show you we belong. And if they didn't do just that here, then I don't know what we just witnessed.
Well, Lewis Scattergood, of course, perhaps the uncrowned MVP of this Hatters team this weekend. 2 goals Friday night, another one here today. And then, of course, one of the goals during the penalty kicks, it was Pinheiro that scored the final goal for Stetson to put them on top 5-4. And Braden Luna, the keeper, with the monster save to win it for the Hatters, 5-4 in penalty kicks. What a day it's been. So for Joe DeStaffen and our entire crew, I'm Tom James, saying so long from Fort Myers. The final score, the Hatters win it in penalty kicks, 5-4. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.